Is Astarion D&D's new main character?
I mean, I had my hopes.
As D&D finally completes its set of 2024 core rulebooks with the new monster manual, one character has clearly become the new MC of D&D. Before we dive into what that means, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep this channel growing, and then let's dive into some news. It's no secret that Dungeons & Dragons has been looking for a new main character to focus their branding on. And while Drizzt used to fill that role, Dark Alliance made it clear that his popularity was not enough to push a video game on its own, and his glory days may be behind him at this point in terms of being the face of D&D. Enter Astarion, one of the breakout stars of Baldur's Gate 3, probably the breakout star, and the character who Wizards of the Coast is clearly trying to push as the new face of D&D in the coming years, as he has made yet another surprise cameo in the 2024 rulebooks this week. That's right, in the new Dungeons & Dragons Monster Manual, Astarion makes another cameo in the section dealing with vampire spawns, as he is mentioned in the flavor quote for the creature saying, "Darling, you are simply delicious," and is then specifically named as a vampire spawn. This marks the second appearance of Astarion in a D&D Core 2024 rulebook, as he also showed up in the artwork for the cleric spell Daylight, watching as a lot of his fellow vampires were getting consumed by sunlight from the spell. And of course, we can't forget that, alongside Karlach, Astarion and his voice actor, friend of the channel and amazing human being Neil Newbin, are the only Baldur's Gate 3 characters to be featured in every official D&D actual play event last year. Astarion and Karlach got their own actual play event at Gen Con last year, a stream called An Astarion and Karlach Adventure Love is a Legendary Action, which also featured actual play powerhouses Brandon Lee Mulligan, Abriya Iyengar, and Anjali Bhamani. Astarion was also featured in the Dungeons & Dragons Baldur's Gate 3 livestream from MCM London later in the same year. Astarion and Karlach are also the main faces used in all of the marketing D&D and Wizards of the Coast have done for their Project Sigil virtual tabletop as well, showing up as playable models and just being at the forefront of all the graphics for the new VTT. But the reach of Astarion goes beyond even D&D, as Wizards of the Coast also gave him his own secret layer release for Magic the Gathering, called Astarion's Thirst, helping push his popularity even further as he joins one of the world's biggest card games. So the question is, can Astarion, possibly alongside Karlach and a few other members of Baldur's Gate 3's epic cast, actually carry the D&D brand through 2025 on his narrow elven shoulders? Wizards of the Coast certainly seems to think so, as he's been popping up in every major D&D release possible in the last year or so. And so far fans seem to agree. His actual play appearance from Gen Con with Love is a Legendary Action has 1.2 million views on the D&D YouTube channel, by far the most of any video on that channel for all of last year, and second place in views is another appearance of Astarion in the actual play from MCM London, which has over 650,000 views right now. If Astarion or his voice actor Neil Newbin are on a thumbnail of an official D&D video, it's basically automatically guaranteed to get 3 times the views of a normal video on the channel. And hell, even our interview with Neil from launch day of Baldur's Gate 3 over a year ago is sitting at right around 50,000 views. So clearly Astarion is one of the best tools D&D has in their marketing arsenal, and the fact that they kept sneaking him into the core 2024 rulebooks should come as no surprise. And we fully expect this mystery D&D book of 2025 that Jeremy Crawford has mentioned to feature him and some of the Baldur's Gate 3 crew as well. And with this kind of breakout popularity, he truly could become the new version of Drizzt, an iconic character who gains popularity outside of his original source material and who becomes the face you think of when you think of D&D. The question simply remains, with no more Baldur's Gate 3 content on the way from his creators at Larian Studios, can D&D keep his popularity going by creating engaging adventures and new narratives and cameos for Astarion in the upcoming products? Can Wizards of the Coast craft a compelling enough narrative around him to match the quality of the Baldur's Gate 3 content and to keep him at the front of their marketing campaigns for D&D? Or without a constant supply of new input from the creators, kind of like how R.A. Salvatore is still churning out those Drizzt books, will Astarion eventually fade away despite Wizards of the Coast's best efforts? So what do you think? Is Astarion here to stay as the face of D&D? Or will Wizards mishandle his popularity and let him fade away? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.